finish at a quarter of.
We are live. Hey
We
there.
are live.
All right, folks. Sorry about the technical difficulties there. Welcome to Smack Talk. I am Joe Lowrie filling in for Dutch and the crew. And, of course, we got Bill Apter joining us. Coming off a very emotional SmackDown.
Whoa, man.
Bill,
I'm telling you.
What a ride we've been on for the last 2 hours. That was a quick 2 hours, by the way.
It was a really, really good SmackDown and major news breaking everywhere here on Sportskeeda, Wrestle Binge. The women are finally getting something that I have been lobbying for ages.
Right.
Their own United States championship. It's been, since I was a kid watching wrestling, it's always been the guys. It's been Bobo Brazil. It's been the original Sheik.
Oh, yeah.
It's been, the women never had the United States championship unless it was in some indies at all, and I don't recall it at all. They did not announce if it was going to be a tournament or how it was going to be handled. So how do you think they're going to handle this, Joe?
Well, obviously, it'll probably most likely be a tournament of some sorts, as Nick Aldis laid down the gauntlet and said, ladies, opportunity is knocking. Who's going to answer? So I'm sure some type of tournament will be announced forthcoming. But Joe, our very own Joe at WrestleVotes, broke the news about, I want to say about an hour before SmackDown started, that there would be a huge announcement regarding a women's United States championship. And that took me by surprise because I know they were in talks with it, but I didn't think it was going to come about this fast. So I think it'll be a tournament. It's going to have to be some type of tournament. Who it's going to be involved, whether it's Raw and SmackDown, NXT.
Oh, I got my pick already.
Who do you got?
I've already picked out who's going to win this. I'll tell you what. I'm going to write down my pick here and just see if you pick the same person. Hold on a minute.
Real quickly, if you're just joining us, Dutch and them have the night off. We were called in last minute. They brought us in from the bullpen to take care of Smack Talk tonight. Appreciate all the comments and so forth. Feel free to hit that like and subscribe button. Be greatly appreciated. As you know, Sportskeeda has a lot of programming. So, all right. So, who do you got to win this thing?
Well, no, I'm not going to. I need
your. You gotta write it down.
I wrote it down. I want to see if you're thinking, out of all the women in WWE, who do you think is going to be the first United States champion? Who do you got?
Julia from NXT. Julia.
Really?
I think it's going to be someone off that roster, if you ask me. Who do you got? Jade Cargill? Really?
Jade Cargill is going to be the first United States.
Really?
They need someone. Julia's a good choice, but she's not star power as yet. Okay. They need somebody with star power here. And I see this is the way to elevate Jade Cargill in the singles division as well. And also possibly a route for her to go and feud with Bianca.
Right. No, I see that split ultimately happening in the future, but I don't know if it's going to be quick enough for Jade to get involved with this, but it's a good pick nonetheless.
I don't think it's going to be quick. I don't think it's going to be a quick.
It's definitely going to be a tournament. It's going to be. They have to measure this somehow. They're going to have to put something together. I do hope it's a tournament that's held on both Raw, SmackDown, including NXT. So, the women's roster is huge.
And the finale, though, has to be it's too soon to do it on Survivor Series.
Yeah, I'm thinking Rumble or Mania. Who knows?
So I think the Rumble as one of the main events. Mania, they can't drag it out that long but I picked Jade Cargill. You want to change your
No, I'm gonna stick with that because only time will tell. I think the Julia thing is just getting started, so I'm a big fan of hers. So it could be anybody. Becky and Charlotte, I see the chats lighting up with those people. Thank you for commenting. Becky or Charlotte. I don't know who else would be out there.
Charlotte. I think Charlotte's too over and experienced for it. I don't think she needs
Okay.
a title, but I just see Jade Cargill coming out with that U.S. title.
Hey,
Man,
you never know. Wasn't she the first TBS champion too?
I believe
In
so. Yeah,
AEW,
yeah.
right?
I
Yeah.
think
So yeah,
it's
that'll be
time.
first. That's a good one. Yeah, pocket that one.
Well,
Pocket.
let's go, as they would say on a sportscast. Let's go to the video.
Let's go to the
Joseph,
video.
let's
Yeah,
check it.
the video of the night is obviously going to involve with Sami Zayn. What a ride! What a ride! It was a quick 2 hours. This is the fastest SmackDown I can recall in a
Well,
while.
let's start at the beginning
Yeah, let's
here.
start at the
So
beginning. We
go
got the
for it,
Roman
Joseph.
Reigns. I'm not a big fan of these two entrances now. Roman Reigns comes out with Jimmy, and then we wait a minute, and then Jay comes out with the Yeet and all that stuff. I don't know how, I don't know. That's two big entrances to have every time these people are in the ring. So, but it is what it is. So they're out there, they're doing their thing, and all Sammy wanted was for Roman Reigns to apologize, not to him, but to Jay.
Yeah.
And I don't know, the wheels kind of fell off right there. What'd you think?
I didn't know where they were going with it. It was confusing me for a minute because after that whole confrontation, the thing that happened with backstage with Roman Reigns just kind of blowing off Jimmy and Jay and just telling him to get lost. Like, where was he going to, he was going to be the Lone Ranger again, so to say, the lone bloodline man here. So it confused me, but it was compelling because it made me want to wait for the end of the show to see what was going to happen there. So yeah, very, very, very compelling. But I have no problem with the multi entrances.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's great for the fans and all that stuff. But if they're ever on a time restraint down the road, I could see that getting rushed along, and I hate to see great entrances like that get rushed along. But the other big story, we'll move along here. A lot of internet chatter on this one. Randy Orton, Kevin Owens. I guess his move has been banned in the WWE for like 11 years now, the pile driver. And I'm telling you, they took an old school move and they really hit a home run with this. I don't know.
They did. The pile driver, even back in the magazine days, there were so many times that we had put down about all the wrestlers that were injured, and it was banned in so many states. And what they did, it's very rare that you see Randy Orton go down like that. And Kevin Owens almost seemed like, I can't believe, like, this is real. Like, I can't believe
he didn't look right.
did it.
Kevin Owens did not look right.
And for Cody, it looked legit.
It did look legit.
It looked legit with Kevin Owens' reaction.
The reaction
to it, with Cody coming out.
They really did it up. You had Nick Aldis, you had everybody from backstage. Then you had Cody Rhodes come out and escort him all the way to the ambulance and even take the ambulance ride. They took an old school type scenario that we're so used to seeing back in the day, and they kicked it up a notch. And it was just amazing. I was it was compelling television. Everybody sold it very well. It was a great program.
That's exactly what I was going to say to you. So many times in the old school, we brought up a lot of old school. They're rehashing a lot of stories from old school. And again, Triple H is an old school guy in a new school world. And they did this so well when you looked and saw the worry on people's faces, not just the fans, but the Charles Robinson, the referee,
he was there.
Some of the other ones there, and there was no shtick. They didn't have Kevin Owens come back out and attack him in the ambulance and all that. It was almost like this guy's really hurt. And Randy was out for such a long time, Joe, with these injuries, and this could be the end of. Is this the end of Randy Orton's career?
It's going to be obviously he'll be taking some time off, but it's only adds to the storyline for whatever happens. But no doubt this is going to be a feud to watch, which may culminate. I could see this going all the way to WrestleMania. I could see this program running all the way to WrestleMania. So It'd be very interesting to see what happened.
Well, how would they do that? How would they do that?
Well, it looks like
having
Randy.
it go all the way to WrestleMania if Randy.
You're going to have
Probably
something
would have
where,
to be out. He would have to be out until.
yeah, I mean, you can.
If I was the booker, I'd have him out until WrestleMania.
Yeah,
nobody
or at
sees
least
him.
until maybe the Rumble or something like that.
Yeah,
but
nobody sees him.
This buys them some time. Obviously, it'll get through Survivor Series and all that stuff. I'm just looking at the chat real quick. Chelsea Green will win the U.S. Women's Championship. That's a good one, Sam. I like that one. Chelsea Green. What do you think?
Possible that she'd probably be in my first 5 choices. I'm still going to stick with Jade.
Right.
It still could be Bianca.
Yeah.
Yep,
you're absolutely right. Just moving along here. I know the tag team match, Jade and Bianca took on Nia Jax and Tiffy. This one, it sounds like they threw this match together so quick. I really didn't. And then with the Candice LeRae, she doesn't look right without Indy Hartwell. Did you notice that? Something was missing.
Like there's something missing. But what I didn't realize was that this was a non-title match, because coming up to that, I didn't hear them say at all that this was a non-title match. Did you?
Right. No, I didn't. And the way the graphics were laid out, it looked like the West Championship on the line, but it was a non-title bout. Obviously they got the win. Candice LeRae got her payback. She doesn't like the way she's being treated, but it's Indy's already being missed. Indy Hartwell, she's already being missed without being Candice LeRae's sidekick. I mean, they were always together all the way to NXT days. So, I mean, lots to talk about here. Thank you everybody for chiming in here. We got some viewers. If you get a chance, hit that subscribe and like button to be greatly appreciated. Great programming here on Sportskeeda Wrestle Binge, as well as Sportskeeda Wrestling.
Now, what I want to discuss here is Tiffy and Nia Jax. Still, is that trust from Nia Jax still kind of borderline on
I think
because somewhere she's going to cash in somewhere.
It's got to be, if you're a champion, a world champion, no matter what, whoever has that Money in the Bank. This reminds me of when Damian Priest had Money in the Bank when he beat Finn Balor. There was that.
That was forever though.
I know they had that animosity. They were friends. They tag team together, but there was always that thing in the back of your head where you never know, one bad move and Tiffy time could cash in. I think ultimately she will cash in on Nia. I can see that happening. So I mean, when it does happen, I don't know. I think the longer she holds it, I mean, this has to be a record for a woman holding the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Probably is. I don't know exactly, but it probably is. But I think somewhere she's going to cash in and she's going to win it, and that's going to heat up Nia Jax and Tiffany.
Wouldn't it be funny if whoever won the U.S. Championship, she cashes in on them?
What a great idea, Joe! The same night.
Yeah, there you go.
Same night. What a great idea!
Championship match, they get the win, and boom. That's where I could see the Chelsea Green coming in. She wins the whole thing, only to get taken out by Tiffany.
I don't think I think Chelsea is great. She's terrific and all that, but I just don't think that she's at the level where they're going to put a belt on her.
Yeah, I don't know. The way her role has been pretty much putting people over. She takes the big bumps. She's doing what she's being, she's great at what she does. I've always been a Chelsea Green fan. I mean, even since that Money in the Bank ladder match when she took that horrendous bump. She's been skyrocketing. Motor City Machine Guns in action tonight against A-Town Down Under. There was a scary move there. It looked like Alex Shelley might have got hurt, but
well, before we get to that,
I don't know. I'm all over the place.
We need to talk about the whole backstage, the backstage thing that took place with the former tag team champions.
Oh, with DIY. Oh yeah.
DIY. I have not, they've ramped up that team now where Ciampa is becoming like a better madman than he was originally.
Oh yeah, that comes with experience. Sure. Oh yeah.
Right, and the whole thing with Johnny Wrestling there, saying that this guy Alex Shelley was one of my mentors and all that, and the two of them disagreeing with each other, setting a real good pattern here of possibly Ciampa and Johnny splitting up again.
Yeah, they ran that program in NXT. What was it? One solid year. They
Yeah,
tore each other apart, and it culminated in a huge event. So I could see them running that program again. There's no
now
doubt.
they bring it to Broadway. It was out of town. No, they bring it to Broadway.
There you go. But what I really, you saw his maniacal reaction when Street Profits came in and said they're going to be challenging for Motor City Machine Guns next week for the titles, and that lit him off. And Johnny's sitting there. Johnny Gargano was like, "What?" And of course, Tommaso Ciampa was just chomping at the bit. He's ready to go off, and he picked that time to explode a little bit. That he was just mad because they feel they cheated out of the tag titles.
I want to see him. I want to see Ciampa in a single role again, because he seems to be much more effective as a heel than he was before. Yeah, and the way they finished that match, where he never even tagged Gargano.
Right. Yeah. See the whole thing. Yeah. So. Yeah, I can see the animosity starting to heat up there. That'll culminate. That might even be a WrestleMania match for all we know. Them two.
Well, I think we're going too far with WrestleMania. Maybe on the Rumble card, or maybe an undercard Survivor Series.
Well, if they run that same program, they'll be wrestling now for another year. That was one solid year they went at it.
Yeah, it's so hard to really go and predict what's going to be anything at WrestleMania at this point.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think the road to WrestleMania has already started, but who knows? A lot can take place between now and then. Moving on. Did we miss anything in between? Motor City Machine Guns. What happened?
Let's talk about the Motor City. You almost
said it. Yeah, I almost got you.
Well, unfortunately, that's the way I feel a little bit, because once again, against their opponents here, they worked underneath 90% of that match. What is going on here? The broadcasters are talking, hey, they're so great. Hey, they're legends. They're this and they that. And they get killed for 90% of the match. Yeah. I thought Theory and Waller were really good. They were really on tonight.
Yeah, they looked good. They did look good.
I thought Alex Shelley got hurt legitimately there.
Yeah,
was it Shelley with his leg?
Yep. I thought for sure something was up. I'm like, of course, I'm on the SmackDown feed on X, and people are like, "Oh, I hope he's all right. I hope nothing bad happened." I'm sure he's okay. He finished the match. They walked off okay. So, but again, another big win for them. Again, another SmackDown match, another win for them. I know they're the champs, but they haven't lost yet.
Yeah, but what's your take on them working and getting killed every match? Seriously, they get killed every match until the finish.
Maybe that's how they're paying.
Sound like Russo. I'm sorry.
Maybe they're just paying their dues right now, because they came right in and just bypassed everybody else in the locker room and won the titles.
They got the belts though, so the company believes in them.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm noticing, a lot of times the champions work from underneath, and then they have that big comeback.
Right.
But this has been almost every single match.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, I'm sure there'll be an action in the coming weeks. So actually next week against the Street Profits. So, Street Profits are a much bigger team. That's going to be a good sized team they're going to face. So expect another 90%.
There's going to be a lot of killing in that, but I think Ciampa is going to ruin it somehow. I think he's going to interfere. I think that's where he and Johnny Gargano are going to get into it. And it's going to be, maybe we're talking about a somewhere down the line of a 3-team battle, because they haven't used the Street Profits properly.
Right. I know the chat's lighting up. Where is everybody? Yeah, we are not the normal crew here on Friday night. I do apologize. Smack Talk.
We're abnormal.
We're abnormal. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Dutch and them had they had a situation, so we are filling in for them. But let's talk about the big headline here. Sami Zayn. Woo, I'm telling you, I said it before at the beginning of the show, an emotional roller coaster. This show got me tonight. There was a lot of activity between the beginning segment and the ending segment. I'll give it to you, Bill. What'd you think of the ending? What'd you think of Sami Zayn?
I had a feeling. First of all, I didn't know what Roman was going to do.
Yeah.
I actually thought Roman was going to feign going over to the Solo side, to that bloodline, because of what happened earlier in the show. I thought Roman was going to not acknowledge Solo, but just say that he will be part of Solo's group.
Right. His tribe.
When Solo asked Sami Zayn to kick him now, kick, I knew right away that he was going to go kick Solo. Yeah. You just knew that was going to happen. It was great to see that part of the bloodline back again.
Sure.
So now they set up the Survivor Series. Yeah.
The crowd was hot. Now it's 5-on-5 in Survivor Series, so looks like each team's going to have to pick up an additional member. I'm not really sure where to go with this. I mean, we've had a huge signing. A Bloodline member was signed just this past week with Lance
Anoa'i, and I predicted that. I said that he's been in the Indies. He has been in the Indies for about 12 years.
Right. Yep.
And I've known him since he was a baby. He is the son of Afa's son, Samu.
That's correct. Yep. Umaga.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So, Afa's son, Samu. Lance is his son. Right.
Okay. All right. I got it. They're just endless. I do a show every week with Afa Jr. and it's like,
right. I know that. And I'm Apter.
Apter.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, he's a very good worker. He looks great. He works great in the ring. And for them to bring him out and introduce him somewhere in the next week or so before the Survivor Series, I think that'd be great. But who's going to be on Sami Zayn, on Roman Reigns' team? Who's the fifth guy there? Is there another Samoan out there? Where there's hundreds of them.
If I were a betting man, I would definitely say there is going to be another somebody from the dynasty will be showing up. Because you can't have, Sami Zayn is the honorary Uce. You can't have another honorary Uce.
No.
That took a long time for Sami Zayn to get that honorary status and so forth. There's just not enough time for that. It's got to be somebody that's coming in. Like when I talk to Afa, we talk all the time. There is 17 Bloodline members right now in the Indies all over the world that could step into this role in 2 seconds and not miss a beat. So it has to be somebody from an actual Bloodline.
Well, they talk about Zilla Fatu
there's a lot.
Even though the WWE universe isn't familiar with him, but the WWE universe really doesn't know Lance Anoa'i either. Now, we might be telegraphing this totally wrong.
Right.
It could be a fifth guy in each team that has nothing to do at this time with the Samoan dynasty.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Just getting back to the Sami Zayn kick and all that stuff. It seemed like it was an eternity with Solo holding Roman there, saying, "Kick him in the head." And I'm sitting there going, "Okay, if Sami kicks Roman in the head, all bets are off that Sami's never going to be part of that bloodline again, or the OTC bloodline." And then I was like, he has to kick Solo in there, so that's probably what he did. So he did. So now Sami's with them. It was very compelling television because all of a sudden Jay puts up the one, then Jimmy puts up the one, and then Sami puts up the one, and Roman puts up the one.
Wait a minute. Wait, you know what we're missing?
What?
On Solo's side?
What? Who?
It doesn't matter what we're missing. Can you imagine?
Well, you never know. He was in the back of my mind, but for one match, yes, I could see that happening if it's Survivor Series. But you're going to have somebody just as big on the other side.
Okay, so who would that? Let's see who would that be? Well, maybe Cody Rhodes, somebody,
Maybe.
Mad Mac Davis, or
Yeah, Mad Mac. Yep.
Yeah.
You think? Yeah, I could see Cody Rhodes if he's
Cody and The Rock in there.
Yeah, see, this is where we're in that in between thing now, because ever since Crown Jewel and Cody and Gunther and all that stuff, so we put that in the rearview mirror now. Cody needs to have an opponent, and right now, obviously tonight he left with Randy Orton. Could be speculation right there? Randy comes back and he's out of his mind and he beats Kevin Owens and then he wants Cody Rhodes. That could be something way down the line.
Well, it could be Cody against Kevin Owens.
Cody versus Kevin Owens. Yeah, could I see Cody on the OTC Bloodline? Possibly. But I still honestly feel it has to be an actual member of the Bloodline, so to speak, because they need to keep that blood thing going. Sammy's the honorary Uce. It took him a lot to earn that. We get the chats lighting up here. The Rock has a new movie coming out, Red One. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, he's on a European tour with that.
Right. So this is perfect timing for him to do a one-night thing.
Yeah. If you wanted to put somebody up there equivalent, not a member of the Bloodline, I know I'm just fishing for names, but how about John Cena? What about John Cena coming in, filling in a pinch? Hey, I heard you needed.
Yeah, it's not going to happen though, because he's not going to start that tour till. But I agree.
Yeah,
because that would be the equalizer. I think John Cena's first appearance is going to be on Saturday Night's Main Event.
You keep saying that. Yeah, you keep saying that. They're going old school. I saw the ads for that again today. They're kicking it back to 1985. That is for sure. I can't wait to see how they do this. It's going to be a throwback for the ages. It's
going to be interesting because what time are they running it in? Prime time or at Saturday Night Live time, like they used to?
No, I think it's 8 to 10 or 8 to whatever it is. It's going to
be. There's going to be a lot of people that have not followed pro wrestling since the last time Saturday Night Live.
Oh yeah,
They're in for quite a shock.
And they are advertising it on NBC as well. So if you watch any NBC shows, it's all over the place on Peacock, everything. So I think they're looking for the big ratings bonanza for that one, because that's going to be a huge, huge show. We could find out maybe a new opponent for Cody Rhodes that night. Who knows? There's just so many avenues that the WWE can take with this.
That's a possibility. What I liked, by the way, mostly about the show tonight was that just when you think the Bloodline story is almost at a standstill, they come across with something like they did tonight. Brand new.
Yeah. The creative avenues are endless for the Bloodline storyline. Real quick, I do see someone says Paul Heyman's been away for a while. There was a video of Paul Heyman that was released today of him arriving in Buffalo at the arena.
Mm-hmm.
But he has been backstage for other shows and so forth. But usually you don't see him arrive, or he's never on camera like that. And he was. And a lot of people were speculating, because you do see Roman kind of missing the wise man, the in between, the buffer between everybody. And I'd like to see him come back soon. That'd be great. You never know. What do you think?
Oh, maybe Survivor Series at ringside outside the War Games cage.
Right, because Roman's venturing into I don't want to say uncharted waters, but he's gone from that heel tribal chief. Now he's more the OTC tribal chief, and with that comes a character change. But you want to keep up the same aura, the same gimmick, so to speak, and that's why I think they're billing it off. He's having a hard time talking to Jay. He's not supposed to talk down to Jay or anybody, but he's doing that. He did that tonight. Backstage, things like that. It's like he's trying to reacclimate himself into a different type of OTC Bloodline tribal chief is what
See,
I'm
and I
trying to
don't
say.
see that. I
No.
don't see that.
Okay.
I see him in the same role, but the fans are taking him as a baby face
Right. Oh yeah,
at this
definitely,
point.
definitely
Yeah,
take him as a baby
yeah.
face. But when he was with, last year at this time when he was, every town acknowledged me. That was like a segment every time he came out at the beginning of the show, and there was like a 10-minute segment for him just to
Oh yeah, I loved it. I loved
acknowledge.
it.
And now he's just talking at will. He's looks confused a little bit, like why am I supposed to trust this guy versus this? I'm not gonna say sorry to this guy, like almost like the ego is getting in the way, and that's a tough act. That's a tough
Yeah,
thing
I agree.
especially in
And
front of
Solo,
16,000
Solo
screaming
was
fans.
very, Solo was very throwawayish. Like, acknowledge me. I
Yeah,
want you to acknowledge me.
right.
Yeah, he doesn't have that, but he's good at what he's doing. But
Oh,
he
he's
doesn't
doing
have
he's
that. He doesn't have that power
right,
of a
presence.
mega
Right.
the tribal chief. He
Right.
doesn't have that look about him.
I agree. And you know what else I was shocked with is Jacob. Jacob was a little reserved tonight, had a couple of moves, but ended up
Oh,
getting the kicks to the head and the Superman punch from Roman. And that was it. We didn't see Jacob again after that.
good point, Joe. And I don't want to see them weaken Jacob Fatu at
No,
all. This man should not be working underneath at all. They need to
right.
keep him as the maniacal Samoan
Oh yeah.
destroyer
Yeah, the
that he
Samoan
is.
werewolf. Yep, the Samoan
Yeah,
werewolf.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But
I'd like to see that because I saw him. I thought he was going to just go off tonight, and someone was going through the table, someone was getting the moonsault, and he didn't. He ended up getting kicked to the face, and he got the Superman punch, and that was the end of Jacob. So, but yeah, Roman, it's a big thing right now. The Bloodline is obviously dominated the storyline. I feel it dominated SmackDown tonight. They started with it.
absolutely.
They had a couple of vignettes out back during the show. It was a very quick 2 hours of television tonight, and when it's quick like that, that means they got you. You're watching it. You're looking for the next reaction. Again, what these guys are doing, the Bloodline. I remember Michael Cole said it last year. If there was ever an Emmy Award given to a professional wrestling
Yeah.
organization, it should be the WWE, because what the Bloodline was putting out last year up until now has been nothing short of Emmy-nominated television. They are hitting a home run
They're
every time
incredible.
they get in the ring, and it's amazing.
Tiffany Stratton
Yeah.
was quoted somewhere saying that once they go to Netflix, they should have a Netflix championship. And I agree with that. I think that
Another
I
championship.
know what's that?
Another championship.
Well, a Netflix championship, I
Okay,
think,
yeah.
would be a great. It's like the TBS or TNT.
A TV title defended
Yeah,
on
the
TV,
TV
displayed
title,
everywhere.
I
Yeah,
think would be great on Netflix. I
yeah,
really, really do. But the big story tonight,
yeah,
I mean, the Bloodline was a great story, but
yeah.
the fact that they're creating a women's United States championship, to
Right,
me, is definitely the story of the night.
right. Now, do you think Raw will flip to that and create an intercontinental championship for women? Seeing that they did it, because let's not forget the U.S. title, the intercontinental title. They ran, back in the old days, the magazine days. Bill, the intercontinental champion was equivalent to the U.S. champion in the
Yes,
NWA with
yes,
WWF and all that. So does Raw now make a statement on Monday? Does Adam Pearce say, we're going to counter that with intercontinental women's champion?
I think if they do that, it'll be next year
You think
sometime. I
so?
don't think
Okay.
that. I think it would be too much to. Although you could have both general managers. Oh no, my U.S. title is more important. Oh no, my intercontinental title is more important.
Right.
But no, I think that they're going to wait a while if they do that. And while I'm talking about that with the two general managers,
Sure.
both of them fine wrestlers, I'm
Oh yeah.
looking down the line. They used to have, like comedic matches between, but these two guys are really good wrestlers. You have Adam Pearce, who's held so many indie championships.
They're
Nick
both.
Aldis, their
They're
former
both.
NWA world champion. I want to see that match.
Oh, what's going to happen? I can feel it. It seems like whenever they're together, especially at Crown Jewel, there was a little interaction there. So I see a lot of, I see that in the future. I definitely would see that. But don't forget, when you build something like that up, what happens? Who wins? You get a winner. Do you get a clear-cut winner or loser? This isn't the days of when like Stone Cold was the GM and Mick Foley was the GM.
Yeah.
Everybody fought and all that stuff. You got to be careful. You got to tread lightly on this. It's good to have a rivalry and a feud, but to end it in the ring and then have, what happens?
I beat you, right? Who's your favorite GM of all time?
My favorite GM? Oh, Stephanie. I loved Stephanie when she was the SmackDown general manager of the Attitude Era.
I thought that was great too, but I'm going to pick Holla Holla.
Oh, yeah.
I thought Teddy Long was,
Teddy Long.
And I'm sure Mad Mac Davis would agree with that. And Teddy's our partner on Time Machine. That's on every week on Wrestle Binge.
Yeah, he was great. I mean, there've just been so many GMs. I didn't like it when they just used it as like a 1 or 2 month type thing. I hated that. Whatever the flavor of the week was, or like Bischoff, when he came in, he became Raw general manager. And then
that was great because nobody knew. Right? None of the wrestlers knew. The reaction of when Booker T saw him and they had him on camera, that was I never forgot what Booker T looked like.
Yeah, so we just did a show, actually. What were they thinking? We're going to be having Eric Bischoff's going to be on the show next couple of weeks. So be on the lookout for that on Backstage Pass. If you haven't subscribed to Backstage Pass, people, I strongly urge you to do that. It's probably the best $4.99 you'll ever spend. Plus, you get a free 7-day trial. I mean, Bill, we got shows on there. Vince Russo's got a show on there. The Coach. It's a star-studded lineup. And
Jerry Briscoe and JBL.
Yeah.
So you have to go to Patreon. Go to Backstage
Patreon, Backstage Pass. It's $4.99 a month. That's nothing.
And our weekly newsletter.
Oh, yeah. You get to read my rant.
Yeah. Your rant, Bob Smith's outdated wrestling column, and all my after chatting.
Yep. That was a good newsletter this week, too. So, that comes out every, Thursday now? That's
Thursday, every Thursday. And it's, if you liked what I did back in the magazine days, this has the flavor of the old school magazines. So.
Oh, yeah. I do like that.
Yeah. All right, bro, Joe. Time to wrap it up here.
We got to wrap it up. The producers give me the hook. I'm sorry we weren't Dutch Mantel and all Rick and the rest of the crew.
No, we're not. Come on, Joe.
It's I love filling in like this because you never know what could happen on the show.
Never apologize.
You never know. But what a show to recap though. This was probably great. I'm dying to see the ratings. We'll get the overnights tomorrow and the official ratings on Monday, but I'm sure they did very well for themselves and so forth. But that's going to do it for us, right? We're out of here. We're done. Friday night. What do you got on tap for the rest of the weekend? Anything good?
Oh, lots of stuff, but I can't talk about it right now.
You can't talk about it?
No.
You just don't want to talk about it. You just want to get off.
No, I can't talk about it. It's.
Oh, hush. I got you. All right, no problem. Good stuff. All right, I want to thank everybody for in the chat.
I'm not talking about it. It's all right. Stop. Gee, we'll see you. Take it, Joe.
All right, we'll see you at the matches.
That's it. That's it.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. The crew will be back next week. Thank everybody for tuning in, especially in the chat. Sorry we couldn't get to your chats, but I did read them. So thank you for that. And for that, we're going to say I'm Joe Lowrie. What a day, everybody.
And I'm Bill Apter. And again, we'll see you at the matches. Follow us on Twitter X.
Yeah, Twitter X.